All right, I want to do a little time capsule study here. How many of you guys remember the John Jacobs Power Team back in the day? Put your hand up, all you baby boomers. And some kids, some church kids that are now adults, saw these guys. They'd tear apart phone books and break bats and do all kinds of stuff like that. As an evangelist, I just discovered this John Jacobs testimony today. It's blowing my mind. I didn't even realize he was involved with the Level 10 Matrix. Watch this.
We did some unusual feats of strength. You know, it was a tool to get the attention of the masses to preach, crushing walls of ice and bending massive steel bars. And over the last 15 years, it wasn't as easy for me. So I had heard about stem cell therapy among the professional athletes, but I thought I could never afford it. And I thought, man, if somehow, some way, because of how it's become now affordable for really almost anyone watching. I did it about 3 months ago. All of a sudden, immediately, within 3 weeks, I could train like I trained 20 years ago. I started noticing my strength in my joints. Mentally, I'm so much sharper. My body is working like it did 20 years ago. It's incredible, the transformation.
Well, you know, you'd be surprised how many testimonies like that I'm hearing these days, but you know who really hears, like, done 2,500 of these? You are in my opinion, the most technically informed. Like when I want to get data and explanations, like a little, like what's the real medical thing going on here? I go to you. And everybody else says, well, Lance, there's too much detail. I like the details. How did you get involved with this yourself?
Sure. Great question. So I have been in the medical field about 14 years now. I met the Matrix team probably about 3.5 years ago. I was in town on a travel assignment. I'm an ER nurse, is my background. And before that, I was a paramedic. But I decided after COVID to do some travel nursing. So I met the Matrix team at an event. And to be honest, we don't really hear much about regenerative therapy, especially in the ER setting. You know, it's not really a first line go-to method of treatment.
Right.
So when I saw what they were doing, I mostly joined because I was skeptical. I was hearing the testimonials, and to me, it sounded too good to be true. So I came on part-time and, you know, started administering therapies. It's extremely simple, right? The procedure itself only takes about 5 to 10 minutes. The paperwork takes the longest, as things usually do in the medical field. But when it was about 6 months and I hit a year and I'm doing the data collection, I'm doing the case management, I'm following up with patients regularly, 45 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year, I'm seeing firsthand the changes. And it's not just change, it's improvement in quality of life. And I think that's the biggest thing that's lacking today is medicine isn't really geared towards quality of life improvement. It's geared towards keeping you sick. Maybe that's my own opinion, but you know, even when you just watch TV, every commercial seems to be a drug commercial.
Yeah, right? and you're managing the chronic condition or the pain with this, but like, oh, I just like to get rid of the chronic condition.
Exactly. So I think when I got to see again firsthand just this improvement, it was patients are avoiding surgery. They're coming off of medication. Someone will say, this is the first time I've been pain-free in 10 years. It's just, you know, for me, it was a no-brainer. I left the bedside after 8 years of being in the hospital setting. It was a very scary change, but I have not looked back.
Wow. Mercedes, this is, we sit here from the receiver end, but these are real people. I mean, this Victoria is somebody we know. We've got a chance to be around her a lot. As a matter of fact, just pulled her from being the person that does the, you know, a lot of the therapy for us to actually coming out to do the interview. What's the, you know, I always feel like it's like a bonus opportunity when we have people like this. What's the first question that comes to your mind you want to ask her? I'll tell you mine right away. Tell me, I'm looking at whole stories here, right? I'm going to pick one at random. See how good you are at your memory. There's a guy named Ken who was 66 years old, and he had chronic diverticulitis, digestive issues, and past spinal concerns. And you keep track of these people. Is this one of the people you?
It is,
so tell me, what have you observed?
Sure. Ken's story was an interesting one. He had some musculoskeletal difficulties, but his biggest hurdle was diverticulitis. He had struggled for years and years with pain, bloating, was in and out of the
What is diverticulitis? Is it when the intestines become like leaky gut, that type of thing?
So it's like the diverticuli are inflamed.
I've had it.
Yeah.
I got it from a medication, actually.
Yes, it can be a side effect.
Well,
absolutely.
explain to me what it is, because I think when you throw these words around, a lot of us act like we know what they are.
Well, your intestine gets an additional little pouch that starts to get infected. So it's almost like it kind of balloons out, and it can be really dangerous too. If you don't catch it in time, it could rupture, and then everything goes all internal. And so it could happen, especially in older people. It's known to happen. And so, anyways, that is the diverticulitis.
Okay, I got the background now. Okay, Victoria.
And many people can be hospitalized from it as well. It can be a very chronic issue. So for Ken, again, he was about 10 years that he was dealing with this pain where he couldn't, go out and eat normally. He found that it made him more antisocial. He didn't want to go and be around family or do things as much. He was very much a homebody. Yeah. So after 45 days, he was around the 45-day mark, he noticed. He said he woke up one day and it was almost like a light switch. He was completely pain-free. And, he was being able to kind of start to introduce new things back into his diet that he couldn't normally eat before. So for him, he said it was absolutely life-changing. And in his own words, he said that. He said it was a life-changing improvement. Wow. He goes, this investment did more for me than the hours spent at the doctor's office, than the endless colonoscopies. So his was very powerful to me. Because when it changed, it's not just quality of life, but when you're 56 years young and it's taking away time from your family, that's the most important thing, right? Is time with your family.
I'll tell you, that's the wildest thing about medical issues. And they could seem like light things. Like, this sounds really superficial, but I've been battling a sty for almost 2.5, 3 months. I haven't been able to wear makeup for 3 months. If you watch a show, haven't been able to wear contacts for 3 months. And it just sucks an element of quality of life away. And it doesn't seem like big, like, oh, well, you can manage through diverticulitis. You can we had a Hillary on, and it's like, well, you can walk through the pain. And so many people push through the pain. But that's not how God intended it to be. That's not what he wants for us. And there are so many times where I love the medical field. I think that God gives life-saving knowledge to medical professionals. But there is a limit to that knowledge. And then when it fails, not only are you praying, but you start looking for alternative things. Like, it sounds so silly with the sty. I was looking at all sorts of home remedies and it sounds silly. But that is the amazing thing about Level 10 Matrix to me, is that it is an answer for people like Ken and so many others I know you're going to tell us about, or we could play videos for, that we know of personally, that have experienced the Matrix and have had a profound impact on their life. And so I just want to say, if you're listening at home, you're watching this and you're thinking, could this be for me? Is this my missing piece? I want to let you know it might be. And I want you to get all the answers to the questions that I know that you have, because every time we do one of these, boom, there's tons of questions in the comments. But go to level10matrix.com, download the book, Stem Cells Made Simple. And one of the team from the Level 10 Matrix team is going to reach out and contact you and see if this is your missing piece, if this is the thing that you need. So you can be the next Ken. You can be the next, we have so many, the next John, like we just saw, or me, even my eyesight got better after taking it, and so it's kind of like Lance calls them like heat-seeking missiles. But this could be the thing that you need to explore to get that quality of life back, just like Ken did.
Yes.
Well, I know that people get upset with me when I go technical, but bring that chart back up. Go to level10matrix.com, 1-800-361-2270. Just put the word matrix in the comments. When you're born, why is this happening? How is it that John Jacobs says you get younger? It's like reverse aging, or get your youth back, get your strength back. You can get younger and last longer, be stronger. It's not just, hype, because you have 1 out of 10,000 cells of the stem cell when you're born. Then it goes like 1 out of 100,000 when you're a teenager. And from the time that you are born to the time you grow, the stem cells are that factor that's causing the growth, the development of that little baby. I got 2 grandchildren now. Every time I see them, I love those little babies. It's a miracle to me. Mama's milk and the design of the stem cells working in their body, they're getting bigger and chubbier all the time, and I love them. But at a certain point, you hit 30, it's 1 out of 250,000 cells of stem cell. Now, this to me explains a little bit of the aging process. The regeneration isn't happening. Your bones start to shrink, your muscles start to deteriorate, your hair starts to gray, and it's like an aging principle. We know that it's a biblical principle that comes with the fall of man. But the stem cells, I think, are like the if I could dare say, it's like the Ponce de Leon trying to find the fountain of youth. The stem cells, as they degenerate and you get older, if you could have an infusion of newborn embryonic, I'm not embryonic, what's it? Umbilical cord.
Yeah.
If you have umbilical cord stem cells that are coming from a healthy mother at that time, what you have is the most potent, powerful universe of catalytic life that's in those stem cells. And it comes into you and it just goes to work.
And for Victoria, like, tell us about what is your personal experience with it? Like, what really convinced you personally to say, you know what, not only am I seeing these testimonies, but this is something that impacted your life?
Sure. I'm very blessed to the point where, you're a prophet everywhere but your hometown. My family members back in Florida have all received the Matrix, which has been such a blessing. My grandparents, my parents, and they've all seen significant improvement in their health. But me personally, I was 27 when I was working in the ER and received the first round of COVID vaccine. I had immunocompromised family members at home. When you're in the thick of it, you think it's the best thing you can do for yourself and your family. I was extremely healthy up to that point, athletic, very active, could work 12-hour shifts without any kind of issue. About 3 months after receiving that first round of vaccine, I started having heart palpitations, feeling like I couldn't catch my breath. I had a couple situations where I passed out. Come to find out, I was developing a cardiac condition. I was having premature beats. They were putting me on medication, but I wasn't responding to that medication. So when it came to receiving the Matrix, to me, I want to be a product of the product. I don't want to just sit here and recommend somebody receive this therapy if I haven't done it myself. So when I received this, I did it more from the mindset of I want to be proactive with my health instead of reactive, which I think many people are reactive today. I think that's an important thing to remember with this therapy too, is you can be proactive. This can be the best thing you can do to, negate any kind of disease forming later in life, especially those who are, 30s and 40s, 50s. But I did this more, again, just for general wellness. But about 6 months from my first Matrix, I realized how much I had improved cardiac-wise. I noticed it in my recovery. I noticed it in the gym. I felt like I was maybe to the point where I no longer needed my medication. So I followed up with my cardiologist. I had an echocardiogram done, a lot of blood work done, and everything was normal. So I was able to come off of that medication within a year of receiving the Matrix, which was, to me, a blessing, especially being at that time, I was 29 years old. To have cardiac issues at that age is pretty scary. So
you and all the athletes that
yes.
suddenly had
Correct.
cardiac issues.
Correct.
We see a number of people. We have testimonies from our health conference we did of people that had like long COVID and even.
We could play it.
Can we play that?
Yeah, I think we have the clip.
I want to do this one.
Since we're talking
I want to get your
COVID.
comments on it when it's done, because I think you can help us out. Watch this.
Long COVID was what had led me to getting the level 10 matrix stem cell infusion. My COVID happened in August of 2022, and so I immediately couldn't work my 2 jobs at all. So I was quite sick. And when I did start to at least get over most of the COVID symptoms, that was probably by January, but I was still feeling tired and washed out. I would get very tired easily. I'd have no stamina. And so we've known about Lance for quite a long time. And when he advertised the healing conference or wellness conference, we decided to scrape together the money and get there as quick as we could. And when I had heard that they were going to offer the stem cell treatment, it was like, I got nothing to lose here at all. I received the therapy at the health conference and probably kicked in within 24 hours. I started to notice some fluid leaving me. I'd swollen up to 30 pounds overweight with COVID. So after receiving the therapy, several weeks, about a month later, I had lost 10 pounds. So I was much less swollen in the abdomen. And my leg was not swelling near as much as it had been. For me, it's rolled back the years. For me, I feel better. I feel younger. I look younger, and I can tell within my immune system, I heal faster. I just don't get things. It's worth the investment.
Wow. Praise God.
And that's right from the health conference. I mean, I praise God every day. I mean, we kind of went out on faith in that and said, we're going to do a health conference? I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
feel like God's saying do a health conference.
I didn't want to do it because we never done one. And Mercedes said, I really think if people are going to be able to do what God called them to do, we have got to help them get their health a priority. I go, we never done one. I just think God wants to do a health. And I thought, you know what? If God's telling us to do a wellness conference, we will bring, and we got the best people.
We did.
I mean, we guys said, let's call these people. These are all subject matter experts.
I think too, I mean, a couple of things. One, it's almost time to do another one. It's been almost a year and a half. And so I'm thinking we're going to do another one. But I just thank God for that transformation. I mean, the whole point of that was people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and people have a missing piece. And level 10 matrix for so many people is the missing piece. And I mean, you watch a testimony like that, you listen to Victoria. I mean, the countless ones, if you've ever seen any of our other shows on this, these are real people with real pain and real problems. And it's like, God did not design us to live that way. He just didn't. And I think when I was listening, you saw me make a face, you know, one of the things you said to me the other day, that in the wheel of life, you know, it's your personal capacity is the number one thing that could pull you out of convergence. And how many people are hitting that convergence zone of 55, 60 years old? And this is the moment, everything you've learned up till this point, it's like invest it all, double down. Now's the time to run hard. And they can't run hard because they have something like a diverticulitis that just takes them out of the game. And it's like you sit in the dugout, you're on the sidelines, and now's the time to run. Now's the time to be in the game. And so I just want to tell you, I mean, go check it out. Go to level10matrix.com, call the number on the screen. I got to look at it over here because I don't have a monitor, but it's 1-800-361-2270, or put the word matrix in the comments. Get the answers to your questions. Download Stem Cells Made Simple. It's a little guide we have there. And our team's going to reach out because I'm convinced the more I watch testimonies like that, I'm convinced that God is displeased, that He has so much for His people. He has so much for you to do. Do not let these, you know, whatever you're dealing with hold you back. Take action. Check it out. This could be the thing that gets you, just like Ken, just like Victoria. You know, we heard other people that this could be the thing that sets you back on the path and you running the race with vigor and finishing well.
Listen, I just feel like, and if you have a spouse that's dealing with something, that we know some. We're not going to mention who they are because there's some very high profile people where the couple is concerned about one of the members in the family, but that can also weigh on you. And so this is a way to get results when you've exhausted everything else. God has a way of coming through. And I'm curious about something, Victoria, before we sign off. This guy says, that fellow here just said he knew right away. And then I started noticing a pattern. A lot of people notice something, and it might not be even like you just started like losing weight. And sometimes people are having results that they weren't expecting. They were looking for one thing, but they're reporting back to you, I'm not sure about that, but this is happening. Does that happen a lot?
Oh, it happens probably every single person that receives this, right? Because you're so fixated, especially if pain's your barometer, right? You're so focused on the pain that you don't realize your vision's improving, your hearing's improving, your varicose veins are disappearing. My favorite probably example of this was an 80-year-old woman. She was wheelchair bound. She needed bone, she was bone on bone and needed bilateral knee replacement. She wasn't eligible because of her age, but she also had emphysema. So she was dependent on oxygen. So her goal with this was to be able to use a walker again. I said, that's great. You have clear, defined goals. It's easier to achieve. So 3 months into the therapy, she came into the clinic for reassessment. And I noticed that she didn't have her oxygen with her. right? So I'm like, that's great. Her breathing's improved. But she was frustrated as all get out. And so I sat and spent some time with her, and I said, well, why are you frustrated? She goes, I didn't want to breathe. I want to walk. So,
Getting breath, and that was what she came for. Oh
yes.
My gosh.
So, when we finally sat down with her and said, listen, you're not going to be walking if you can't breathe, right?
Yeah.
So then she kind of realized she was so focused on being able to walk that she didn't realize how drastic of an improvement it was to no longer require oxygen 24/7, supplementally. So that was probably my favorite. But yes, even just the smaller changes. I always tell people when they receive this therapy, write down anything you can think of head to toe. Even if it's something that, maybe it was a car accident from 20 years ago, or your right thumb bothers you every now and then, or, sometimes it hurts when I go to wash my hair in the shower. Like, think of all those things, because when things improve, you forget. Right? It's like healing amnesia. We don't focus on the things that don't bother us. We only focus on the things that bother us.
Right.
So,
great story.
Yeah.
She was agitated because she's waiting for that arthritis thing to go. Well, we have them here, folks. We have injuries from car accidents and head trauma that have remarkable improvement, fractured metatarsal bones and chronic left knee issues, then regenerative therapy, the pain left, mobility came back. It's pretty much all the time. So we're going to have you back again. And when you do, we'll get new ones. I mean,
Yes.
It's not like we have to go back to like God's Generals when I'm watching what A.A. Allen did over and over again. I get to watch some things happening right now. And I love the fact that it's Christian. I love the fact that there are believers that are behind this, believers that are pursuing this, because I think the idea that Christians in the medical field, technology field, the science field, going to the top of that mountain means that they're actually getting downloads from heaven. The same way that evil people can come up with diabolical uses of things, God's people can come up with redemptive, powerful uses of things. So thanks for what you do. Once again, it's level10matrix.com, 800-361-220. This could be the one thing that will make the big difference for you or someone you love. Let us know when you do it. Give us your testimony, and we'll have you interviewed also. Comment Matrix before the show goes off, and we'll get that link to you. God bless.
Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends.